G'day, welcome back to the channel. It's spring here in New Zealand. The sun's gone behind a cloud, damn it, just when you want the light it disappears. Never mind. I want to answer a question that's been increasingly asked in the comments on my videos. Are we going to see more videos of Ron and Bill and Neil and everyone else flying at the airfield? Are you going to be out there filming them? And my answer is I'd love to do that, but the council says no. You know the beloved council that I've had so many issues with over the years. Well, they are really putting the sharp end of the stick in me now. They've decided, how dare you criticise us? We will not accept criticism. We will not accept criticism. We will not acknowledge our mistakes and lift our game. We will just carry out a vendetta against anyone that criticises us. And more recently, that's included people from within the council's own ranks are now being victimised by the council because they have dared to go against the tide, so to speak. So, yeah, they've told me that I am not allowed to film, not allowed to take my camera and film on any council property that isn't a public place. So I can film at the parks and the reserves and things, but I can't film at the airfield because it's not a public place. It is council property owned by council. They've said, you may not film there without our permission. And do you think I'm going to get permission? Of course not. So if I go out there with my camera and I film Ron and Bill and Scott and all the others having a great time, and I show it to the world and I promote the hobby and let people see what a wonderful way this is to spend your leisure hours, the council says they will trespass me from the airfield. And then if I do it again, if I go out there again, I'll get arrested, even if I'm not filming. So I'll be completely banned from the airfield, and if I go out to the airfield, I will be arrested for trespass. That's how petty and vindictive these people are, because I've criticised them. So this applies to nobody else, and what can I do? I can't fly at the airfield because they've demanded that I become a member of Model Flying New Zealand to fly there, and no one else has to be a member of Model Flying New Zealand to fly at the airfield, but I do. The council has decided. They originally said, if you watch the video I put up a while ago, originally said, oh, it's CAA's direction. No, it wasn't. CAA said, no, we had nothing to do with it. So the council's lying. They've lied over and over again. They lie every time I talk to them. So I cannot bring you any more footage from the airfield. That's why there's been no footage from the airfield. Now, Scott has got a channel. Him and his boy have been filming stuff at the airfield, so I'll put a link to that in the description of this video. If you want to see what's going on, you can click on there, go and watch the videos. Yeah, it's tragic. But of course, I can't fly at the airfield, and I can't legally fly in the parks and reserves either. Now, if you came to New Zealand, you could fly in the parks. If anyone else in town wanted to fly, they could fly in the parks. Anyone from anywhere in New Zealand wanted to come, they could fly in the parks. But I am forbidden, only me, because they put a special condition on me flying in the parks and reserves. So this email that you can see here is from the relevant person in council, one of the members of staff, and they've said that if I want to fly in the parks and reserves that are allocated for that purpose within 4 kilometres of the airfield, I'd have to have a pilot's licence, a real pilot's licence, or be a member of Model Flying New Zealand, or be supervised by someone who's a member of Model Flying New Zealand, has their wings. Now, this membership of Model Flying New Zealand is not a criteria for anybody else in the world, and neither is having a pilot's licence a criteria, but it is for me. It is for me, because this is how petty and vindictive they are. What they're doing is they're being very clever, because when people have written to them or emailed them and said, why are you stopping Mr. Simpson from flying? They've said, oh, we're not stopping him. No, he can fly. He just has to follow the conditions that we've put down for him and only him. So really, they know I can't comply. I'm not going to get a pilot's licence. CAA wouldn't give me one. And I can't join Model Flying New Zealand again, because when you get a membership card from Model Flying New Zealand, it says along the bottom something to the effect that you agree to follow all the CAA regulations and Model Flying New Zealand rules. Now, I'm standing in my back garden here where I fly my tiny whoops around my house, because sometimes it's the only opportunity I get to fly. When I'm having a good day, I'm not shaky. On a bad day, if I pick up a transmitter, all the screws fall out and it falls apart with the shaking. But on a good day, I'm good as gold. I can fly, almost as good as I could at any time. And I like to fly my whoops around my house. But when I do that, I break CAA regulations. I fly FPV without a spotter with my hideously dangerous Mobula 6. And I fly BV-loss when I go around the corner of the house, again with my hideously dangerous Mobula 6. And Model Flying New Zealand contacted me some time ago and said, you can't do that. You're breaking CAA regulations. You'll get us in trouble with CAA, because we have given CAA the undertaking our members will always follow the rules. And if you're seen to be breaking them, it puts us in bad standing. So my only alternative was to either not fly around my house, which means I would probably get very little flying done at all, because I can't pick my good days. They don't fall on weekends all the time. So I decided, well, I just won't rejoin Model Flying New Zealand. It gives me the freedom then to fly around my house, break the rules, because they're not going to prosecute me. CAA are not going to prosecute me for flying a tiny whoop in my garden, because I challenged them on that, if you remember. I'll put a link up here to that video if I remember. But Model Flying New Zealand, oh no, sticklers for the rules. And they said, but you can fly in your garden. You just got to fill out all these forms and put up some signs and restrict traffic and get some cones and a security person and some tape. And I'm not doing that. I'm not buying into the lunatic assertion that a Mobulus 6 is as dangerous as a 14-kilogram octocopter. I'm not buying into that. That is ridiculous. If I agreed to that, then I'm so stupid they shouldn't let me fly at all. So I can't do that. So I can't join Model Flying New Zealand, so I can't comply with any of our council's conditions on me flying anywhere. So I can't fly, and I can't film others flying. So I'm sure those of you who've been watching the channel for any length of time know how ridiculous this council is. I mean, they knocked down our control tower. The last man knocked down the control tower because I criticised her and I must be punished. So even though the engineer's report said it needed one bolt and a little bit of woodwork tied it up, she said it was in imminent danger of falling down, and she got the destroyers in, and within 2 hours of her saying knock it down, it was on the ground. That's how ridiculous it is. And even though the world said no, this council doesn't care. They don't give a damn about their reputation. You know, it's like they live in some world where reputation doesn't matter. And so they let the world get outraged over the destruction of our tower. And just to show you how little they care about their reputation, I'm going to show you a piece of footage now from our beloved mayor, and our new mayor. He's been in the job for 2 years, and how little he cares about the reputation of this council. Now, this went out on a live stream to the world, to anyone that wanted to watch it. It's still online if people want to watch it. And this is what he said to a female councillor in a public meeting.
So can we have the public removed from council, please? Councillor Purdy, the meeting hasn't closed yet. Fuck's sake.
Yep, isn't that a good look? That's a really good look. And that's an exact example of how petty and ridiculous and immature and outrageous the behaviour of this mayor and this council is. Now, there are some good councillors. There are 2 or 3 good councillors. They're all women. And unfortunately for them, they're being subjected to the sharp end of the stick as well. We recently had a long-term plan created by the mayor and the council, and they were going to do all sorts of things. And it was put out for public consultation. The public generally said, no, we don't want this. And the 3 women in council all voted against passing this plan. But it was passed anyway because the mayor and his cronies have a majority. So it got passed anyway. But because these women dared to represent the community that elected them and vote against it, they've been taken off all positions of influence and authority. They're not on committees anymore. They've been sidelined, put on the bench for the rest of the term. That's how petty and vindictive this mayor and his council is. It is outrageous. So I'm a victim of this as much as they are, probably more so. So yeah, that's me, sidelined, totally sidelined. All I can do is fly whoops around my house in breach of civil aviation regulations. And nobody wants to see that, do they? You don't want to see that. That's boring. You've seen it already. I mean, not a lot to see. So what do I do now? Now, last year I did a bit of hiking and went out and things, but again, I want to show the hobby, the best part of the hobby, which is people having fun with models. I can't do that on my own. You know, it's about when you see at the airfield, you've got Ron and Bill and Neil and Gordon and everyone together. It's just that wonderful vibe of all the people having a great. You can't deny everyone's having fun. Now, one old guy walking around the countryside with a drone, that's pretty damn boring, and it doesn't give that same perception that the public need about the hobby. We want the public to see it's a fun, family-friendly thing, not something an old man does in his twilight years. So that council is destroying my ability to promote and support this hobby, and it really makes me angry. I don't care about me. I can weather the storm. Whatever they want to do to me, that's fine. But the fact that I'm no longer able to bring you guys the entertainment that you got, and I'm no longer able to promote this hobby to a much wider audience who might look at my videos. I know a lot have looked at my videos and said, wow, that looks like fun, and gone out and got involved and started to, enjoying the hobby themselves. So yeah, they've got a lot to answer for, this council, absolutely. Now, I was thinking over what can we do. Shall I invite you all to write to or go online to Google Maps and leave a bad review of the council on Google Maps? But then I thought no, because partly it's my misjudging the support of the community that got me into this position. When the council first announced that they were going to stop me from flying at the airfield through some bogus rules which didn't actually exist, but they claim they do, but they can't provide a copy of them. Video link here if you want to see what happened there. when that happened, I invited people watching the video to email the council and ask them what the hell's going on, why are you stopping me from flying? And I thought if I get a few thousand, or even a few hundred people, that may be enough to swing them to think, oh gosh, we better, take care of what we're doing. Let's not be stupid because people are watching. Sadly, I forgot the fact that, even when you have 190,000 subscribers, sometimes you just get a couple of dozen people who are listening. So, because the council only got a couple of dozen emails in response to my call for people to write in. And so the council, it backfired. And the council said, no one gives a damn. Look, we've only got a couple of dozen people, inquiring. They don't care. So, basically I shot myself in the foot there. So I'm not going to try that again because I know that people are busy, a lot of things to do. You like watching the videos, you enjoy the channel, but you've got a life to live. You don't have time to send emails off to the other side of the world to support me just because I find myself in a pickle. So I'm not going to make any suggestions in regards to that. I had one opportunity, I stuffed it up because I overestimated support. So what do I do now? What do I do now? I mean, it's quite difficult because I need to keep providing you with content. Now, I will be doing all the news, drone news, when things happen that affect the hobby, I'll be bringing that information to you. I'll try and do some entertaining and informative videos. I really have to rack my brains as to what I'm going to do though, because as I say, you don't want to be flying my drone around this house. It's dead boring. So go to the comments now. Tell me what I should be doing. I could do what others are doing, pivot into 3D printing channel. I could become a e-bike channel. I could become a gamer channel, because a lot of people in the hobby are pivoting. The channels, people are finding the hobby is contracting. It's getting smaller. The big boom of FPV quads has peaked, and now people are wandering off and doing other things. I don't want to. I want to stay in this hobby. I want to continue my passion and share that with the world. It's just that we've got a bunch of clowns in a building on the other side of town who are doing their best to make that impossible, and effectively they have made that impossible for me. So we need to get our collective brains together. I'm open to all sorts of suggestions. Please go down in the comments, tell me now, because it's no good me making stuff you don't want to see, and I don't know what you want to see until you tell me. So I thank you for watching this video. And as I say, I'll put some things up here, some links in the description. If you're new to the channel, you don't know what the backstory is, you can go look at the other videos, see exactly what the council's been doing. But I will leave the final word to our beloved mayor. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Fuck's sake.